Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.
Welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Here now is your host, Chad Amond, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce.
Hello and welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections. I'm your host, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce, Chad Amond. I am so excited for today's program. We are going to be talking about a party, and I'm glad to have Peg Colosimo on the show. Peg is the Party at the Palace chair for the Westmoreland Cultural Trust's annual Party at the Palace. Peg, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Chad. I really appreciate you inviting me.
Well, it is exciting to have you on because I will say this: it's an occupational hazard that one of the duties of my job is I get to go to a lot of different black tie events, and it is a true honor to be able to do this, but. I will say this, the Party at the Palace is one of my favorites in Westmoreland County. Oh, that's great.
That's good to hear.
But we need to know about you. Tell us a little bit about your background and what do you do besides being the Party at the Palace chair?
Well, obviously my background is not in this type of thing. It just kind of came about. My profession, I'm actually a dental hygienist by profession, and I'm an adjunct faculty member at the community college. And this semester, I actually take my students from the community college to University of Pittsburgh Dental School and have the dental students and my students work together. So that's always a lot of fun this semester. And then I also work part-time in private practice for Dr. Ralph Rittenauer. I started as a few years ago just filling in, and then it was one of those things, well, can you just kind of stay on and help out? My background as far as this is concerned just kind of happened. My daughters were, my older daughter especially was pretty talented. Well, they were both talented. She's front of the house.
Yeah, you need to say they're both talented.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right. She's front of the house type of person, singing, dancing, performing.
Oh, really?
And then my other one, stage management, that, back of the house as far as theater. But I got started in it at Greensburg Central Catholic. My daughters went there. And in 1992, I was on the advisory board with Judge Driscoll, and we got to talking. And the theater musical annual theater productions were going to go by the wayside because there was no funding, basically, and they wanted to eliminate the program. So I got involved, became created a drama guild, obviously became president of it, and gathered all the volunteer parents, and they became very involved, and we were able to save it, and I was able to then move it to the Palace Theater as opposed to just being on stage at the high school. And that made a big difference because, you really can fill up that room, and it was exciting for the kids to actually be on a real stage. Yeah. And we started that back in 94, I think, is when we finally moved up there. So I was involved for 8 years at Central, and then in 97, actually, just had to find my notes. Actually, he had called me. John Noble came up with this idea to do what we called Night of the Stars. So that was in 1997, and that was the first year, and he asked me to come on board to help him with that. So, and it's been in its 22nd year. This will be the 22nd year, and I've been there since 1997, and it's grown to 2 nights, 16,000 children through the whole thing, all the different schools, and it's just really, really grown. So I feel real proud about being part of that, getting that thing off the ground.
Yeah, wow. Well, so that is connected to the Party at the Palace because
Night of the Stars?
Night of the Stars?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
It actually has. It's a total different entity that John Noble started to. It's like the. Did you ever hear the Kelly Awards in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, the Kelly Awards in Pittsburgh, it's more like political. Who wins, that kind of thing. Well, when John and I sat down and talked about, we should do something. He said we should do something like that, but not make it political, not make it, just so the kids can actually perform on the stage. So all the different schools, whether it's Penn Trafford, Greensboro Central Catholic, Franklin Regional, Connellsville, Greensburg, whatever, they all have their time to do a portion of their musical that they had done in the spring. So it's May 2nd and 3rd, I think, this year. Yeah. So those children all have an opportunity to show their wares, so to speak, which has nothing to do with who's the best and who isn't the best. Everybody's the best.
Right.
So it's two totally different things, but it's really exciting.
Wow, very cool. Well, focusing on the party at the Palace, years ago, I think it was called the Hollywood Party.
It was Hollywood Party. We started back in 2006. It was called Hollywood Party at the Palace, and the reason that we called it that is, ironically, the first meeting we had, we were going to call it Oscar Nights. Well, you have to pay for the rights to use the word Oscars.
Right.
So we switched it to Hollywood, and what we did was, the first year was real eclectic. We just came up with, Tony Marino got involved from the beginning and came up with different ideas. Then we moved to the next thing we did was we did the 20s. It was called the Roaring 20s. Then we did the 30s, and then we kept going. And the 50s was really a lot of fun. The 50s and 60s were a lot of fun. Moved up to the 70s, the 80s, and then in 2016 we switched it to, instead of Hollywood Party at the Palace, just Party at the Palace, because that was the 90th anniversary of the Palace Theater, and we really wanted to promote the 90th anniversary. So now it's just called Party at the Palace. So that's how the transition went from Hollywood to Party at the Palace.
But you still have, every year, I think it's just so cool when you walk into the to the entryway of the Palace. You have the what do you call it? The paparazzi, I guess.
Right. The sensations, stage right sensations. They get dressed like they're camera people and reporters and whatever. So they're outside. And we actually, when you walk in, we want you to feel like you are the stars. When you walk in, you actually walk in on a red carpet and everybody's cheering for you and whatever. So you walk in on a red carpet, and then the first thing that happens, this is not a sit-down theater production. It's throughout the entire, as you well know, throughout the entire palace. There are different rooms, and so when you go in, you're going to be able to go to all these different rooms and different themes. And the theme this year is One Party for All Seasons. The 4 is FOUR. So we're like downstairs in the Megan Suite. It's going to be the winter, and upstairs VIP party is going to be spring. And then we're going to have summer and fall upstairs. Mezzanine is going to be the fall. And upstairs in the upper Megan Suite is going to be summer. So the rooms will all look completely different. Missy Smeltz is doing the winter room downstairs. And outside the Megan Suite, we will have a full tent. And it's going to be called, last year we started this and it was really successful. It's called the Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Right. So people could go out there and have a cigar and whiskey, and we have a huge tent, and it's heated, and it's just really different. We added that on last year, and it was very successful. So each year we change things up. But if I can get back to when it first starts at 6:00, that's the VIP. Mm-hmm. The VIP is on stage because we started this several years ago, because realizing, we're up there on stage a lot, doing a lot of different things. Most people have never had the experience of being on stage. So we thought, why don't we try this? So we did the VIP on stage, and it's amazing when you stand up there, as I'm sure you've noticed, when you stand up there and you look from that perspective out to the theater with the chandeliers and the artwork and the whole theater, and seeing all the brass railings and everything, it's just breathtaking.
It is totally different.
Yeah.
I will say that, being on the stage
right.
and looking out to that crowd,
right.
you've got a new respect for anybody that is
Absolutely.
A performer, because you're the focus. That's
right.
For sure.
And it's always a good time. The VIP, we have you get a professional picture taken, which then goes into the lobby for a year until
right.
the next year. Champagne, hors d'oeuvres. Juniper Grill is again doing all the food no charge. They're from Murraysville,
Yeah.
and they do an excellent job. So
Yeah, they are
right.
great. They're members of the chamber. So
Oh, are they?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
very excited. And one of the things that I always loved is at the VIP party. Was it last year that there was a diamond from Beagley?
Yes,
Beagley
Beagley
in
Clyde,
a,
yes.
in a
champagne glass, and
yeah.
whoever had the real diamond,
Right.
that was exciting. We're going to switch it up a little bit this year. We're not doing that. Every year we do something else. The first few years we did the VIP, we had entertainment, but we don't have enough time. And it starts at 6, but most people don't get there till 6:20 or whatever, and then we have to kind of shuffle them out like 10 till 7 to get to the regular party. So we eliminated speakers, and that Mike will say a few words, I'll say a few words, and then people just enjoy themselves. We're going to have a little bit of a video this year, so it'll be exciting. The other thing that we changed a couple years ago, which I kind of thought about it, they also have no idea what it's like literally backstage. So instead of taking them back out through the theater to go to the rest of the party, we take them through the back way so they can see the dressing rooms, and we have entertainers back there usually, and they can walk and see, all the equipment, everything that is involved in on a stage, and that's kind of exciting.
You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. We're talking with Peg Colosimo, who is the Party at the Palace chair for the Westmoreland Cultural Trust. Peg, let's go up maybe to 35,000 feet. And the party at the Palace is awesome, but let's talk about the mission of the Cultural Trust in itself.
Okay.
They do,
Right.
120 different shows
Right.
over the course of the year.
They do. Westmoreland Cultural Trust is a nonprofit organization that its mission statement is to stimulate cultural and economic development in Westmoreland County by promoting the performing arts in all different aspects. Like you said, all the different shows that they have. Teresa Bachman does a great job bringing all these different shows in. And then we do other promotions. The Garden Center is part of the trust. Obviously, the Palace Theater. We do 3 or 4 different fundraisers because, believe it or not, the ticket sales for the Palace don't really take care of all the expenses of. So we do these fundraisers, and this one happens to be our biggest. We call it our signature fundraiser. So, and we do the TGIS in the summer. It's every Thursday night. We have live entertainment. There's no charge. And then we have a fashion show in the fall. Each year we try to come up with a couple different ideas. But the trust in itself is basically, and that people don't realize, it's not just a Greensburg thing, it's Westmoreland County. That's what we're trying to promote. And we do get a lot of people from the outskirts. Just like when Juniper Grill decided they wanted to do this a couple years ago. That's fantastic. We get food from Ligonier, or we get different entertainment, which I'll talk about in a minute. So people get exposed to everything in the county because of the Westmoreland Cultural Trust.
Well, I having had many conversations with Mike Langer, who is the executive director.
That's correct.
For the Cultural Trust. The Cultural Trust, most listeners probably don't know this, that it is not a profitable entity.
No, it's a nonprofit organization,
Yeah.
501c3.
That's right. You would think with all of the concerts and things, but people just really don't understand. There's a lot of capital expenditures that to keep up a theater that was built in the
1926.
1926.
Right.
But on the flip side, from the point of view from the chamber, that's an economic driver of the county.
Right.
The Westmoreland Cultural Trust impacts about $7 to $8 million a year for people that are coming to the Palace, that eat in the restaurants or maybe stay in the
hotels.
I was at a concert not too long ago, and there were people that were coming in from other states, surrounding states.
That's correct. I'm glad you remember that number, because I meant to call Mike and ask him, because I know it's important that we get that message out there, that the impact on the community because of what we do. And like you said, I know I've met people from Ohio, Virginia. My daughter lives in Virginia, and some people come home just because they want to see an event at the Palace Theater, not just because it's a particular concert that they want to see, but the venue itself, the Palace Theater itself is unique in comparison with these huge entertainment areas, and we're very lucky that we get a lot of variety.
It is an asset to the community. You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Peg, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
This is Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. If you have a suggestion for a topic, or if your nonprofit organization would like to be featured on this program, call us during regular business hours at 724-216-1200.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Westmoreland Community Connections. I'm your host, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber, Chad Amond. We're talking today with Peg Colosimo, which I pronounced Colosimo at the beginning of the show. And so, Peg,
no problem.
Peg, what was I thinking? I guess, it's probably common with you and I. I get Amond all the time.
I'm sure you do. And we get different. We get Colosimo, it's just normal.
Well, I thought I was going to make it all year without a mistake, and there's the first one. But getting back to what the Cultural Trust does and what the Party in the Palace does, it's ultimately a fundraiser, and the Cultural Trust impacts the community, but is not a for-profit organization.
No, it's not.
But it does generate a significant amount of impact on the community. We were talking before we went to the break about $7 or $8 million a year of economic impact. So talk about the fundraising aspect of the Party at the Palace. I mean, how much does it generate on average?
Our goal is at least, and we've usually hit our goal at least $30,000 by the party itself. And when you think about, can I talk about the committee?
Oh, yeah.
I have a fabulous committee. I have like 25. A lot have been with me from the very beginning. And they are totally aware that, we have stuff that we can use. We don't need to buy, utilize what we have every year. And then, if we go with a different theme, come up with different things. So they're really good about that because they know the objective is to raise funds for the Westmoreland Cultural Trust through this Party at the Palace. So we like to keep our expenses down. We're very lucky because we have a lot of great sponsors, which I can tell you a few. And then we have also a lot of vendors that we've been very, very lucky with the vendors. In the beginning, when we first started this, we were really hoping to get, 5 or 6 vendors as far as food. I'm talking about food vendors. Now they want, and the entertainment want to be involved because they know how popular it is.
Right.
So they give us most of their food with no charge, and they all have their own space and their own table, and we do a lot of advertising for them. So it's a good thing for them. It's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for them, and that's what people need to realize. This isn't just something that we're doing for ourselves. We're doing, like you said, for the community. And I thought about it during the break. I know that I can't remember what Mike would probably have remembered. There was a few people that would fly in from on Spirit to come to concerts at the Palace Theater. And people would probably say, but you know how inexpensive it can be, but it's something they wanted to see, or maybe they came from this area, so they want to come back home, and they book tickets. So it's always kind of interesting where you see people coming from.
Well, the Palace just has such a wide spectrum of shows too, from old time country music to up and coming,
Western, comedy.
Right. Well, my wife and I got for my parents for Christmas. We got them the tickets for the Elvis.
Did you?
I don't know if you call him impersonator. Or
impersonator.
Yeah,
yes.
right. So we are very much in favor and supporting of the Palace Theater. But the people that are even more supporters are those people that are volunteers. How many volunteers does it take to run that event?
Well, this event, I have around 25 volunteers, but the staff at the Palace, the ushers at the Palace, which are volunteers, the staff, the garden center. All these people are actively involved. Matt and his crew do all the construction because there's a lot of things that we build to make it look beautiful and create stages and this and that. So there's more than just us 25 volunteers that do this. Without the staff, we wouldn't be able to. And they're all so very kind and helpful and excited, and they actually get to enjoy the night themselves too. So it's kind of worthwhile for them to be able to be part of it from the very beginning.
I think we need to get into some details because
Okay.
the listeners out there are saying, "Okay, tell me where and when. How can I come to this
Okay,
party?"
all right.
So where is it and when is it?
It's at the Palace Theater, downtown Greensburg, February 24th, 2018. The VIP starts at 6 o'clock. The main event starts at 7. In the information, and if you need information, you can call the Palace Theater at 724-836-8000. That's the box office, or the Westmoreland Cultural Trust, 724-836-1123, extension 255. If you go online, you can go online, westmorelandculturaltrust.org, and get information there. The one thing that you can do if you're confused about what this is about and you've never had an experience of this kind before, go onto their website and go under events, click on events, and then go to Party at the Palace. And you can see from last year, because we have a lot of pictures and
right.
things that are, you can actually get a visual of what's going on. So to just give you a real brief visual, like I said, you walk in on a red carpet, and then you can go to 4 different areas. The area for the VIP is on stage, and that's called Blossoms into Spring. The area in the main Megan Suite is called Escape to the Wonderful to Winter Wonderland. Upstairs we have Fall into Vibrant Autumn Hues, and in the spring we have Springtime, and we have Springtime. Now if you do a visual, close your eyes. Okay, you go into one room. There's going to be entertainment throughout everywhere. There's going to be vendors with food set up on different tables. There'll be bars, to get your beverages. So you're walking around, trying the different food samples, listening to live entertainment, and then maybe you'll go upstairs to the mezzanine, and there's a different entertainment up there and different vendors up there. So everywhere you go, you're going to be entertained and enjoy delicious food.
Well, there's also the cookies and the
yes.
sweet treats,
Yes.
which will probably break everybody's New Year's resolution,
That's right.
but that's okay. Peg, tell the listeners, how much is it to attend this party? Is it like $500 a person?
No. It's $75 for the main event. For the VIP, it's $125, which also includes the main event. So it's not unreasonable. It's such a good thing to do for the community, and you have such a good time. My daughter's coming this year for the first time, and she just moved back to the area, and she's having some of her friends, and obviously she's younger. So we like to encourage all different ages, and we do have all different ages that come. And she said, "How dressed up?" I said, "You don't have to get dressed up." She said, "Well, Mom, you wear a gown, Dad wears a tux." And I said, "That's because I'm the chair. I have to."
Right.
Okay. Some people come in pantsuits or whatever. You can't really come in jeans, but you can, wear whatever you want. So.
Right.
That way people know they don't have to think it's a black tie thing.
Well, I'm going to make a suggestion here.
Okay.
All of those listeners out there, the date for the party is February 24th.
Right.
Why are you not purchasing this for your spouse or your significant other for Valentine's Day?
What a great idea.
Isn't that a good idea?
That is
right?
a great idea.
That's a date night.
Right.
And if you're going to just the main event, it's $75.
Right.
And if you're going to the VIP, hey, you're going to give your significant other VIP. That's going to be a good date night, right?
That's a great idea. You men out there, are you listening?
Well, hey, I don't know what flowers to buy all the time.
That's
so
right. You don't know what jewelry to buy. This is
VIP.
a perfect gift. This is a perfect gift. Can I just mention our lead sponsors?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Elegant Catering, Excella Health, Photo Record, Levin Furniture, Smale Auto, and the Tribune Review are our lead sponsors. And the entertainment we have this year at the VIP is Eric Barchisi, Then we have on the staircase, this is another thing at 7:30, on the staircase, Stage Right Sensations performs, and they're always so much fun to watch.
Right.
They do an unbelievable job. And then we have different theater groups that are going to be entertaining throughout and also on the main stage in the Megan Suite. These are the theater groups this year: Greensburg Civic Theater, Geyer Performing Arts, Apple Hill Playhouse, New Kensington Civic Theater, Theater Factory, Split Stage Production, and then we also have upstairs Josh Stairs and The Brick. And then after all the entertainment is over, we have a DJ, Keith Harold, so people continue because, that's the other thing. We have a dance floor, and people really get into the music and they start dancing.
Right.
So when all the entertainment was over last year, we realized we need to continue the music because nobody wanted to go home. So
Right.
so we had him do DJ music. So
We're getting close to the end of the program, but Peg, I want to say that from a resident of Westmoreland County and my role at the Chamber, we appreciate very much what you do. I mean, these events, I know we host a ton of events ourselves.
I know you do.
They just you don't snap a finger and they happen.
Right.
And you have obviously a great team of volunteers and the staff. I mean, from Mike and Kelly and Teresa and all in the entire staff. I couldn't
Right.
name them all.
Right.
But they are dedicated
They are
and
very
hardworking
dedicated.
people.
Right.
And so
they believe in the mission.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And when I first got involved years ago, I thought, well, what am I doing here? This is going to be. But then when I realized what the impact is on the community, I really believe in this mission statement. So,
and I think I think it's
performing
great
arts.
that you are encouraging and involving what is the Greensburg Civic Theater and the Geyer Theater out in Scottdale.
Right.
You're,
different areas of the county. That's
Yeah.
what we try to do, to
Right.
bring all those different theater groups in, and they look forward to it.
Right. Obviously, in Westmoreland County, Greensburg is the hub, but we
Right.
have so many other great entities, Apple Hill Playhouse and the others that are part of the performing arts culture here in Westmoreland County. And I think sometimes that residents who have lived here all of their lives probably don't recognize the impact of the arts on our community and
Right.
how lucky we are
Right.
to have places like the Cultural Trust and the Palace Theater and the Lamp Theater and all of these
Right.
theaters that really do have an impact on the community.
And you know what? You just made me think about a very good point. Some people really just are getting more involved in the theaters and the communities around here because years ago there wasn't a lot of choice and you had to go into Pittsburgh. You don't need to do that. We have just as much wonderful places to go and entertainment right here in our own county.
Peg, thanks very much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Again, for those listeners that are saying, "Hey, I need to get the Valentine's Day gift for my spouse or significant
Right.
other," it's going to be a great date night. It's going to be held on Saturday, February 24th, 2018. The VIP party is starting when, Peg?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and the main event is going to start at 7.
7.
And give the listeners one more time the contact information if they want to go to the party.
You can call the box office, 724-836-8000, or the Westmoreland Cultural Trust, 724-836-1123, extension 255, and they can hook you up. And then you can also go on the website, westmorelandculturaltrust.org. And like I said before, click on the events and click on the party from last year so you can get a real good visual of how much fun you're going to have, because everybody does have fun.
Peg Colosimo, Party at the Palace Chair for the Westmoreland Cultural Trust. Thanks for listening, everyone. You've been listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Join us next week, same time, same place, for another edition of Westmoreland Community Connections.
Thank you, Chad.
This has been Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings in and around Westmoreland County. Join us again next week on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.